wonder if she noticed what my job is. I don't know how I'ma make it, but I know no matter what, I'm finna find a way. All my homies finna eat and I ain't letting no one on my team look at an empty plate. Yeah. Went from a boy to a man, ayy. Every day been making plans, ayy. They don't really understand, ayy. Gotta look out for the family. I won't fall for any scam, yeah. Only worry about the fans, yeah. I won't compromise the brand, yeah. I've been saving up the bands, whoa.
After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. Rappers spending money in some really funny ways, man. I promise you, man, really getting paid. Yeah, show a couple bands flexing on the Instagram, and nobody getting fans that way. Yeah, well, you really dumb if you spending all your funds on some clothes and your tape need work. Yeah, you ain't gonna stand if you ain't a businessman, man. I promise you, the plan ain't gonna work. Yeah, rappers spending money in some really funny ways, man. I promise you, man, really getting paid. Yeah, show a couple bands flexing on the Instagram, and nobody getting fans that way. Yeah, well, you really dumb if you spending all your funds on some clothes and your tape need work. Yeah, you ain't gonna stand if you ain't a businessman, man. I promise you, the plan ain't gonna work. Yeah.
Mr. Young and FRGN.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut. Kick to the gut. Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Hey!
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Hey, Kick to the Gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the Gut podcast.
Kick to the gut podcast.
Kick to the gut.
Your podcast sucks!
Yo, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, my brother. How are you, Mr. Young?
Man, I wanna start the week off with energy. I wanna start our review of Hell in a Cell with much pride, and I wanna say, oh, I'm so hyped up. But bro, I'm not. I'm not
If you want
at
to
all.
start your week out with energy, right? You shouldn't be watching WWE. Let's just put it that way.
I feel so sad saying this, but okay, it's Mr. Young.
And it's foreign in the building. How are you? I mean, okay, we know how you are, but I just feel out of obligation. How are you normally?
Okay, yeah.
Watching Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, outside of pro wrestling right now, I'm good. I'm good. It's the return of restaurant dining here in Singapore, which is fantastic, but only two, which means, bro, you can go on dates.
Yeah, man. Going on dates. We don't have to sit on the floor anymore. We don't have to find park benches anymore.
Yeah, none of that stuff, huh? But beyond that, though, okay, we were just talking about it off air before we started the stream, right? About the Broken Skull sessions with Mick Foley. How I'm actually more excited to watch that, especially after I've watched Hell in a Cell. Last night I was watching a bit of the WWE the Treasures.
Oh, the Hidden Treasures. Who was on this week's episode?
Yeah, it was, funnily enough, The Big Show and Mark Henry.
What?
Two fellas who are AEW, who are all elite now.
Bro, so is this a AEW episode or WWE?
I don't know. Okay, you know why? They were going and searching for Andre the Giant's memorabilia.
So, okay, that's great. So there's a tie-in between the Giants going to see or find out about Andre's memorabilia. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's just very unfortunate that the past two episodes of these Hidden Treasures have been all with elite members now.
Because Jake the Snake, right, was last week's guest.
It's a weird time for pro wrestling, I have to say. I don't know if it's like they just don't care or they can't do anything about it because they filmed it already and they promised these episodes to A&E, right? They're like, oh shit, well, we can't do anything about it. Like, why didn't they hold them to some sort of a contract where until this episode airs, you can't go somewhere else,
Or maybe they signed it or they did this episode like way before they even thought about leaving. This could have been produced way beforehand. But I'm quite curious to see whether Paul White and Mark Henry actually promoted this episode on their Instagram page or on their social media.
I think any sort of publicity is good publicity, and it's a good show. So I don't think they would be
opposed to it.
Promoting it. But at the same rate too, it definitely cast a light on AEW. Like, what's Paul White doing? Let me see. Oh wait, he's in another federation. Let's go check this out. And that's never a good thing for the WWE. I think Vince McMahon is jumping up and down.
It's like Chris Jericho opening the forbidden door. Like he wouldn't be opposed to getting more publicity because what does it do? It promotes the current promotion that they're in.
Which makes me wonder, why is WWE so okay with this?
Well, obviously they don't see AEW as a threat yet.
Well, I mean, once Rampage happens, then again, they won't be going head to head, if I'm not mistaken, right? But the past few weeks, though, and I have to wonder, okay, do you know if this past SmackDown went head to head with AEW Dynamite?
They haven't been going head to head in terms of time slot, but they go live right after SmackDown, so at the 10 p.m. slot.
Okay.
So SmackDown is 8 to 10. AEW comes live at 10.
Oh dear, which brings us to my first topic I want to bring up. Okay?
Sure.
Because the main event of SmackDown saw a Hell in a Cell match. Okay, what is the rationale here? Now that we've had the weekend to think about it, bro, why do you think they move the head of the table from the pay-per-view to SmackDown, to headline SmackDown with Rey Mysterio?
I've thought long and hard about it. I only came to one conclusion.
What's that?
Both Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns, right, requested Father's Day off.
Hey, maybe that's it, right? They're all fathers as well. But I mean, if you think about it, is Bobby Lashley a father?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Drew McIntyre also. So
Drew McIntyre is not.
They want their main event slot lah. So do you think that's it?
Really? The probable rational reason, and I've actually digged up the dirt sheets to find out more.
Okay.
So according to Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp, they literally came up with the idea this week. So there wasn't even a long-term reasoning behind it. There wasn't a storyline reasoning behind it. They just sat around in a writer's room and decided, hey, you know what would be interesting? Let's put Hell in a Cell on SmackDown. Because right now, their Peacock subscribers are guaranteed for the next 5 years. They don't have to care about getting new subscribers.
Yeah.
So what is their focus now? Is trying to get more television views. So they need to make Fox more destination viewing.
Yes, and throwing a Hell in a Cell. First time ever. They love first time evers. It's great marketing, right?
Yeah.
To have a first time ever Hell in a Cell on SmackDown. I guess it makes sense, but does it in turn make the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view sort of like a blur? Like now that we've watched it, it did totally feel...
Yeah, it totally made me feel like I don't care about Hell in a Cell, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Your go-home show should be the one that leads you, builds you the hype. If there was some tag-along, if there was something that happened at SmackDown that could have had like a payoff on the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, that would make a lot of sense. But in itself, it's just an isolated main event match.
Yeah, which is very, very sad and very, very weird. So, okay, I wonder also, there's another thing, there's another component. I wonder, right, if they heard about the MMA cage fight on AEW, okay, MMA cage fight, and they decide, you know what, let's show them what we can do with a cage instead.
So which idea came first? That's my question.
I think the MMA cage fight was announced first. Then they moved the Roman Reigns Rey Mysterio, which was a good match. It was a decent match, right?
Yeah. The match was great. It had great storytelling.
Yeah. Nothing crazy happened, but it was just good storytelling. And now that Roman Reigns has killed the Mysterios, what's next for him? Who's next? You know, like, I mean, logic would dictate now that he's destroyed the dad, that the son will come in to seek revenge. But do we really want to see Dominic Mysterio versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship?
I would love to see it, bro. Money in the bank. Come on, give it to me.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's an advertised killing. Do you want to see a child get killed on pay-per-view? Watch Money in the Bank.
Oh my God, you are horrible, bro. You are horrible. But that makes a lot of sense. Now, question is, what if Dominic is in the Money in the Bank match itself? What if Roman Reigns says, you know what, Dominic, you are not even worth it. You do not get a match. You have not earned it. You are a young punk, right? But then Dominic goes into the Money in the Bank match and wins it. And now he has a psychological edge over Roman Reigns.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense given where Roman Reigns, is in the standing of SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I feel like Dominic will definitely get some fair measure of revenge, or at least try to avenge Rey Mysterio's defeat, which is all fine and dandy. It's all a very nice. I love watching SmackDown. Like I say, it's easy to watch. 2 hours. It starts with like a clear, undisputed star of the show. It makes a lot of sense. But the problem is, because of what happened on SmackDown, I was more interested to watch wrestling on that Saturday morning as opposed to watching wrestling today.
Bro, you just said it, right? You took the most compelling storyline in WWE and moved it off the pay-per-view, making the pay-per-view it's not must-see TV anymore. It's just, oh, this is happening.
Yep, it was skippable. And I mean, it could have, another argument could be made for Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre stepping up and say, okay, now they're giving us a clear runway. Let's make this the undisputed main event. And it was also technically Drew's last chance. So there were stakes there.
Yeah.
Right? And they make a bait and switch. They made Bianca Belair's and Bayley's match a Hell in a Cell. So, I mean, we've got to dive into that eventually, right? But I don't know. If I had a choice to put a match inside Hell in a Cell, you know who I would have chosen?
I think I have the same idea as you, but go ahead.
Okay, for me, right, given all the rivalries that was on show on this pay-per-view, I would have made Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn a Hell in a Cell match.
Okay, you know, I agree with you 100%, but only because we are longtime fans and we know their history. Like, your casual fan might not know because, to be honest, right, this feud is a side feud. It's not a main feud. It's like by the way, sort of a mid-card feud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think they were going to invest in it, to be fair. But I get what you're saying. Like, to us internet dirt sheet readers or like long-time fans, let's just call it hardcore fans, this is the match that makes sense. But we'll get to it in just a little while because I want to talk about what happened on that Friday night first, or Friday night in the US, right? So, okay, we got SmackDown happening. Roman Reigns, you know, head of the table. I'm hoping that next week on Saturday, he freaking brings up the fact that Hell in a Cell sucked because he wasn't on it. I hope he does that. I hope I hope they are smart enough to look back at the product and go, you know what? Yeah, let's let Roman Reigns say that.
I'm just thinking about all the fans who are eating their words, talking about how Roman Reigns used to suck and the next John Cena. Like, where are they now? You know?
I'm sure they are like pointing at somebody else for that now. Let's move on to AEW. And this is my problem right now with pro wrestling in North America, right? Like, you have WWE that seems to be playing it very safe, very monotone. Like, there's no ups, there's no downs. It's a decent standard, good workers, but there's nothing that's really compelling other than maybe Roman Reigns, right? And then on AEW, you have these wild swings of absolute shit and like intriguing stuff. So I'm like, am I willing to put myself through the bullshit to get to the good stuff? Case in point, let's start with the bullshit. An MMA fight between Wardlow and Jake Hager. Okay, you know where I'm coming from with this already, and I want to hear what you think of that match. Were you sports entertained for it?
I am curious to actually hear your thoughts. I mean, you are an MMA fan, you are a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Okay, come. Let's just put, you know, let's just clear the awkward thing in the beginning, right?
Okay.
We know it's a worked fight. Okay, everyone knows it's a work fight. This is pro wrestling in an MMA match in a pro wrestling environment. Okay, so there's gonna be shenanigans. It's not gonna be 100% legit. If you're an MMA fan only, if you switch this on randomly and you see this, you're like, what the fuck is this? A running Hurricane and a spear?
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
bro. Okay,
so,
go.
So as I'm trying to look at it from a very objective lens. Okay, if I'm an MMA fan trying to watch this, nah, this is bullshit. But as a pro wrestling fan, and I want to compare it to all the so-called work shoots that has happened in the whole wrestling history, from Brawl for All to Lions Den match, you know, to the Fight Pit match and that kind of bullshit. I mean, it had its merits. There were certain points that entertained me. Okay. There were certain parts where I can tell that like Jake Hager really stiffed Wardlow, and he's like, oh, like that, you play like that, you know, that kind of thing. So and there was a lot of posturing. There was a lot of like trying to heighten the drama a bit, and I can appreciate that. You know, I can laugh about it. But it's the kind of thing, right, bro?
You can laugh about it.
I will laugh in isolation, right? When I lock the room and at home and I'm like, the lights are dark and I'm just watching it by myself. You know, I'm not gonna share my MMA friend who is like, yeah, Khabib, yeah, Conor. Hey guys, wanna watch this MMA match in AEW? I ain't gonna share it to them. You know?
No.
So I was sports entertained. But as a fight fan, I don't know where to put my face. But as a wrestling fan, I can appreciate what they were trying to do.
I love the way you put it, and I agree with you on that 100%. What's very weird was that some of the local wrestlers that I know, right, that we know, I was watching their Insta stories, and one in particular who also trains MMA, by the way, okay? I'm not going to drop names, but he was like, oh yeah, wow, MMA represented in pro wrestling. He was so excited, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And he enjoyed the match. I was like, really? Because, okay, my problem with this whole thing, like what, to me as a child, what made the Lion's Den match work was the fact that at that point, MMA wasn't this ubiquitous sport with combat sports. People didn't know what the hell MMA was, so it looked new, it looked different. I didn't know what to expect, so I thought, oh, this is legit fighting, correct?
Yep.
The problem with 2021 is everybody and their mother has at least watched 1 or 2 MMA fights, okay? Like, in 2021, you can't come on TV and on TNT where they show one championship, so people have watched shoot fights before and try to pull off this shoot work shoot bullshit. It looked hokey as fuck. That power bomb onto the cage, they try to sell it as like he just put him down. It looks so bad. And then the running Hurricane Rana. I mean, if this were a wrestling match, Wardlow pulling that off would be very impressive.
Yes.
But in an MMA fight, it looked like bullshit. The spear, okay, fine, whatever, it's a takedown, right? The punches look like ass because they were punching each other in the shoulder because they obviously it's work.
Do you see the hammer fist, bro?
Fuck off.
The hammer fists are like powder, like
like anyone who has watched any sort of a real fight knows this is bullshit. It looks so bad. And okay, here's the thing with MMA, right? The one criticism about MMA is it can get boring if people are like, are parrying too much or like, they're just sort of circling each other. And they tried to do that. And they took the most boring part of MMA and put it into a pro wrestling sense. Isn't the whole point of pro wrestling to take out the most boring parts of real fighting and make it spectacular? So to me, that's why this whole idea doesn't work at all. Now, when we talk about fight pit, or whatever variations that the WWE have tried to pull off, right? The smart thing they are doing is that they've never tried to make it an MMA fight. They never call it an MMA fight. This is fight pit. They try to tweak the rules enough so that it is different, it is something new. Because MMA is not new. MMA is very, very, I don't want to say common. Huh?
It's established.
It's established. Everyone knows how it looks like. And like you said, to proper fight fans, that thing was just... oh, it was hokey as fuck. I could not deal with it. I was watching it going, this is bad. This is like,
No, the thing is, they actually make this the first thing to open the show at Dynamite. So I think they were really counting on people to tune in out of curiosity. And I think that achieved what they set out to do. Like it did get viewers. People were very curious to see what would go down.
But how many of them rolled their eyes and switched right away? Like, oh, this is some work shoot bullshit. Let's get out of here,
Yeah, so that's the thing. So like the only way to know for sure is if the ratings come out, we see what is the hour-on-hour viewership. Did the viewership go up and then go completely down in the second hour? That will prove what your thoughts are on this.
To me, there's nothing worse than a fake real fight. It just oh my god. At least in pro wrestling, it's like, okay, I understand what the product is, and maybe it's because we've watched this, we've watched both products. We're very familiar with both products, so we know what to expect. So maybe to the untrained eye, to your mass, random audience, they're like, oh wow, this one looked quite real, But even then, like you're talking about the ground and pound looked like bullshit. It looked like they were pillow fighting.
So here's the thing. How do you make MMA work in a pro wrestling environment?
You like I said, you do a fight pit. You do something different. You do something that is not MMA but MMA-esque. You know what I mean? Like Thatcher and Riddle. What they did was so different, but also MMA inspired. You can do MMA inspired matches, but not. And don't go and fucking try to do a UFC match. And they went ahead and they did the whole red corner, blue corner bullshit, and then Justin Roberts did his best Bruce Buffer. I'm like, the problem is, and it's another issue with presentation, they tried to present this as mixed martial arts, and any mixed martial arts fan will watch it and go, this is bullshit.
I think that's the problem. They tried to call it MMA rules match, and they have that name there.
Yeah,
everyone knows what MMA is, so it's like, this is a official soccer match, and then they try to pretend they play soccer, but they're all like rugby players. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. It's the presentation of it. If they just called it any fucking thing else, like Lions Den match or fucking whatever bullshit, then you can have power bomb, you can whatever. Yeah, sure, fine.
You know what would be really, really cool? Okay, here's my pitch to make a MMA inspired match work in WWE or in wrestling in general. Yeah, they can have the cage.
Yep.
You know, they can have all these people trying to act like it's MMA, but they have to make it very tongue in cheek. They have to really make it tongue in cheek. You know, like how you know the whole Logan Paul Mayweather thing was like a farce, right?
Yeah.
But people tune in because they I think they should have in the moment, right, bro? They said that it was if they say it was an exhibition boxing match, people will just completely tune out.
Yeah.
So the reason why people was thinking like, oh, is this gonna be like a proper rules? Like, will this go into like they didn't make the significance of it very, very clear. They make it vague.
Yeah.
So people do not know what to expect.
Yeah,
but if they say like, okay, this is just an exhibition bout, people will know that Mayweather was just playing around.
Yeah. Sparring. Look, at the end of the day, like I said, it boiled down to the fact that they need to understand that the audience is smarter than this. They are insulting the audience by putting on an MMA match when we know a lot better.
And I believe that if they know where the audience stand on this, they acknowledge it, but yet they have fun with it. Like, I don't mind if like they go over the top, and that's what makes pro wrestling fun, right?
Sure.
They make an over the top presentation of MMA, and we're all laughing to it. Like, for example, what? Okay, I just thought of something that was so fucking funny. Okay, imagine the powerbomb thing happened, right?
Yeah.
But then the side of the cage panel collapsed. And then they went outside and they started brawling.
Yeah.
And then they used steel chair.
Sure. Why not?
You know what I
right?
mean? Like, and then like they started, and then like Jake Hager or Waller got pissed off, then throw him back in, then take one of the steel chairs from the crowd and then start chair shots in the middle of the cage.
Okay.
You know,
I think we've taken a very weird turn to the right. I think they were trying to sell it as a legitimate fight.
That's the thing. In pro wrestling, it doesn't work that we know it's dumb. So like lean on like the over the top. Like imagine okay.
Oh my
Imagine,
god.
like, you know when how the cage fighters, right, after they celebrate, they go on top of the cage and they like celebrate on top, right? So can you imagine like Jake Hager like say, okay, I don't want any more, or what? I don't want any more of Jake Hager. He tried to escape out of the cage, and then they both went on top of the cage and they started punching, trading punches. You know what I mean? Like even then, right? Like even if it will come across as so bad, but it's so funny and hilarious. I think that is more of the pro wrestling's personality.
Yeah. I see what you're trying to say here. Also, let me say hello to Irvin, by the way, who just mentioned in chat, AEW cage fight proved that Wardlow has zero technique. Yes, well, there's that too. I mean,
yes.
Okay, to me, right, like I feel bad for Jake Hager. I feel bad that he, as an actual MMA fighter, a Bellator fella, right, undefeated, right, is now gonna have this match tagged to him. And they're like, oh, this fella, what's he doing? He's participating in fake fights. So his Bellator fights fake as well. You know what I mean? Hey, Marquis of Queensbury match. There you go. So look, at the end of the day, name it anything other than an MMA fight. That's the bottom line, because Mr. Young said so.
Yeah, man. And you know what's the worst part of this whole match? It's not the match itself. It's the fact that this whole feud is going to continue.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like, and this is what I like about AEW, and we've talked about this, right? Now they're going to like continue with their little like one-on-one feuds. So MJF versus Sammy Guevara, you know, the tag teams, Santana Ortiz versus the Revival FTR, you know. So yeah, it is a feud that seems to be never ending. You know what it seems like? They are doing the feud backwards.
Yes, I agree. Like it should be different feuds coming together. Didn't Armageddon Hell in a Cell work out that way?
Yeah. Like different feuds culminate in one big, crazy, explosive match. This one, they had the Stadium Stampede, the War Games, and then now they break down into multiple small feuds. Yeah. So it's like a bit tumbalik.
I mean, if they want to say that, AEW is trying to be innovative, I guess this is innovative.
Look, they're throwing the shit out there to see what sticks. And like I said, some of it works, which is what I'm interested in seeing. And some of it is just really, really bad shit, like how the librarian has his own faction now. For fuck's sake.
The wingman or some shit?
Yes. And the Namath guy, the Dolph Ziggler's brother. And I'm like, the second I looked at this group of idiots dressed up like morons, like I'm like, okay, I'm not interested. It's like another factory, I don't know how many fucking factions they have. I don't watch Elevator. I don't care about them.
They need to have the Mean Street Posse level kind of jobbers faction, you know. They need to have a jobber faction. That's what they're trying to do.
The Mean Street Posse had more character than these jabronis.
Bro, that's saying a lot, man, because I remember them and they have no character.
Yeah, no, because who was their leader? It was Shane McMahon.
Bro, Joey Abs.
Yo, who's the leader of the wingmen? The librarian.
Fuck the librarian, bro.
For Christ. And then the leader of the factory, QT Marshall. Like, you need, oh my god, for a faction to work, you need at least one fella who's compelling. None of these people are compelling. And together, they are not compelling. Stop it, AEW.
Okay, one more thing about AEW I wanted to mention, right, is did you read the Forbes article?
No, I did not.
Man, bro, you need to read, bro.
Why?
Bro, you will love it, bro.
Will it make, I feel like it will make me vomit blood.
Yeah, that's the point. Okay, first of all, right, this article, right, the headline says Tony Khan is the Lord of the Ring. Okay. The first thing.
All right.
Secondly, the first billionaire to challenge the empire that is WWE.
I mean, sure, that sounds, acceptable. That is what it is.
But you know what's the best line, the best caption? Because they actually interviewed Shahid Khan as well. Interviewed the dad. This is the exact verbatim. I wish I could read it out. I wish I prepared it, but okay, not exact verbatim, but this is more or less what Shahid said in the interview. He said, right, when I die, all this money is gonna go to my kids, right? So might as well, while I'm still alive, I should let my kids blow on some of this money. That is literally what the dad said. The reason why he invested in the son's wrestling promotion is, I got money to burn. Okay lah. My kids are just gonna anyhow spend my money. So might as well give the money now so I can see when I'm alive what they do with my money. Bro, what the fuck?
It's like you know what? You have to admire his honesty. He's not blowing some hot air like, I see this as a great business venture.
Like PR answer.
He's like, I got lots of money. Here, spend a few $100 million, because you feel like it. Oh my God.
Well, fucking funny, bro. I cannot take it. Okay, so apparently, right, the initial investment that he injected in the company was $100 million.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so they were talking about how within a year, Tony Khan actually managed to pay back this money and managed to make a profit out of it, because when he signed the deal with TNT, right, and Time Warner, it was $175 million deal.
Oh, so they are 75 in the green.
Yes, but this year they are still in the red because they use that money to reinvest back in their games division.
Oh, video games. Hey, to be fair, right, watching, didn't they give a preview of the new AEW game? It looks it looks good. It has Here Comes the Pain vibe.
Does it have some No Mercy vibes? I saw some of the angles, the way they were doing.
Not so No Mercy. Okay, it had No Mercy vibes in the initial presentation where everyone looked a little bit more blocky. The current iteration of it looks a little bit more like Here Comes the Pain.
I like some of the close-up, when he did the coffin drop and then the camera angle pan to that very interesting signature angle. And that was pretty cool.
I'm actually very excited about this because they have legitimately wrestling video game focused people in the company, like Kenny Omega, like the referee
Aubrey Edwards.
Aubrey Edwards. And she's a legit programmer, right? Or
yes,
she used
that was
to work
her previous job.
Yeah, she used to work in the industry. So it's like, whoa, okay, you have people who love the product, who are in the product, doing a video game of the product. I think that can only lead to good things.
And they have a partnership with Yukes, right?
Yes, THQ.
And the original developer of the N64 No Mercy games.
Well, I mean, for a long time, Yukes were doing the engine. And that's why the recent WWE game flopped so hard, because Yukes and them separated, and so they had to create their own engine, and it was botched to hell.
Yeah, it was garbage. Yeah, so apparently their games division is like a proper gaming division. It's not like WWE. WWE it doesn't have a gaming division. They just license out their copyright or their IP to actual gaming companies, right?
Yeah.
So AEW. So I was looking at AEW's website. Don't ask me why. I was just randomly looking at their website, right? So they already laid out like the different divisions. They already have an established AEW music department now.
Oh.
AEW games, right? And AEW programming, AEW merch shop, AEWshop.com.
You know
and,
what? Yeah.
I mean, they had, of course, the talent, the wrestling division. But then the one that I'm very interested in finding out more, AEW live events.
Okay, so but isn't that just part of their wrestling business?
Yes, so like, but the thing is, their touring and live industry events, right? They didn't create or establish a proper subdivision until this last year, or like in the last couple of months. So they've been doing one-off traveling here and there. They're touring, kind of like without. It's like very cowboy style, So now they're finally kind of establish all the different divisions. So I think the pandemic gave them the time to kind of like recalibrate and get their company in order.
I mean, if you look at all these things that they've set up, first of all, it sounds like a rich wrestling nerd's dream, right? Like, which is what Tony Khan is, you know?
Yes.
He probably loves...
He's all of us, basically.
Yeah, he's all of us, but with billions and billions of dollars to be able to fund all this stuff together. So, like, I mean... it actually is kind of interesting and exciting to see where that goes.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to what he's trying to achieve, but like I guess he's going through what most companies or startups go through, right? Growing pains, having to learn on the job, making a lot of stupid mistakes.
Well, you remember Ted Turner was a huge wrestling fan, and that's how WCW started. But at some point, when like the company's like, no, like. But then again, this Tony Khan is independently rich, and this is his baby, so it's a little bit different from the Ted Turner situation.
Yeah, and also he is creating a company from scratch. I mean, he is responsible for making it profitable. Yeah. Now he got all these people to feed. Oh, and one thing about the article that they mentioned, I think this is a very interesting note. I just wanted to bring it up. When Cody Rhodes first had contact with Tony Khan, he was of course skeptical, like, is this guy for real? Is this guy for real? And Tony Khan said, okay, once you sign this deal with me, the initial deal to be executive vice EVP, right? Executive vice president, you get your mail in the check the next day.
You check in the mail, lah.
Check in the mail, the mail in the check.
Mail in the check. I say, wait, what?
The check in the mail, bro. Yes. And that was to prove that he's not bullshitting, lah. Because obviously, being the son of a promoter, I'm sure he has had a lot of people say, "Oh, I'll promise you, I'll make payment in the next couple of days," and shit happens. So I guess he managed to win the trust of the wrestlers really, really early on. So the issue is not about money, and most wrestlers, their main issue is, will I get paid on time? Ask any ECW wrestler that.
Yeah. So look, JR always says it's cash or creative, and in this case, Tony Khan has given them full access to both. Yes. So why? I mean, it's no surprise that all these veterans are going over there, like Big Show, Mark Henry, and apparently Mark Henry is inspired by Sting. He wants to come back to active wrestling, which is like, oh boy, that's another story altogether. But yeah, it's interesting times, lah. But they really need to hunker down on their. They need to tighten up the ship. Right now, it's too much like. Whoever feels like doing whatever, just do it, and there's a lot of rubbish.
Yeah, and another thing is, I realized that if everyone wants to be portrayed in a great light, right? Everyone wants to look like they're winning or like established. Then who are they gonna fight? Who are they gonna beat?
Yeah,
nobody wants to lose to nobody. What?
I tell you who, bro. The wingmen, the factory.
No, later the women say, this doesn't work for me, brother.
Oh, God. The problem with this, if you don't establish stars, is that if you're all constantly beating jobbers, your product becomes stale. It's like watching an episode of WWF Superstars. You know who the main winners are going to be when watching that show, because it's like, Macho Man versus Joe Schmo, fucking like
Joe Schmo is a fucking jobber name, yeah.
Yeah, Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Giant Gonzalez. It's like, who's gonna fucking win.
Yeah.
Why are you wasting my time?
And like, But the thing is, like, it's so funny because there was one match on Dynamite, Orange Cassidy versus Cesar Bononi, right?
Oh god, yeah.
But the thing is, Cesar Bononi looks like a fucking giant beast compared to Orange Cassidy. But we all look at it as like, oh yeah, this is a jobber match. He's gonna lose.
Oh, by the way, best friends are now feuding with the Wingmen. Orange Cassidy, they're quote unquote one of their top draws, right? Going from joke to he got put over by Chris Jericho, riding a high, back down to joke, back up to contending for the World Championship, now feuding with the Wingman. Like what the hell?
Bro, they think he AJ Styles. He can just be put in any division and just do well.
He can't bounce back just like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you have Hangman Adam Page still hanging out with the Dark Order, not really doing much, just chilling out with them.
Okay, who I really like on AEW, right? There's just a couple of people. Miro, thank God, is being treated like the proper monster that he is.
Yep.
So even right now, right, I'm actually impressed by Miro's promo skills. Every time he comes out, he's like, hey, okay, this guy is legit gonna fucking fuck people up. Do you see the one where he was actually like talking to Penelope Cruz?
Yeah, that
where's your boyfriend?
That was a bit creepy, which was done very well. He's supposed to be like, whoa, what?
It's like he pretending to care. Oh, hasn't she been mistreated so bad? But he's the one that is mistreating them.
Yeah, he was the one who beat up Kip, right?
So I love that. There's that complexity, there's that depth to his character. So that is always fun. Obviously, the things with Inner Circle and it might be going a bit too long with the Pinnacle, but MJF and Sammy Guevara are being treated like stars.
Yeah,
which is always great.
Yeah, that needs to be the next feud that propels both of them forward. Like they need right now. To me, it's like watching Rock versus Triple H feud for the Intercontinental title, or Rock versus Austin for the Intercontinental title. It's like okay, there's your future right there. Let's make them stars.
That's great. And I like that the AEW is at least committed to, for every one sting, they're at least trying to push a Darby Allin. I know that's a weird example, but I gotta give them props in that sense.
Meanwhile, how about Brock Anderson with the charisma of nothing? like fucking wow. Is that is he a Lance Storm?
He looks like a gruff, badass looking guy from the face up.
Yeah, looks like he's dead now.
Yeah, but from the body down, he look like a teenager who haven't. Let's just say he haven't filled up lah.
Yeah.
Filled up.
It's like when Randy Orton first burst onto the scene, he was a bit vanilla. So give him time.
Do you think that he got the basics right? Do you like his work so far?
And he has the name. Yeah, it's fine. Nothing too offensive. It's just the fact that he had to tag with everybody's favorite Cody.
Yeah, okay lah. At least Cody is trying to build up stars other than himself. So
sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's something. And of course, the main event, which had a very weird mixtape of people involved. Like they had, so now Kazarian goes by the name of Elite Hunter. I think he's want to kill all the elite people. I mean, that's basically all of us lah. I think Young, you're the Elite Hunter as well.
No. Kazarian is. I actually enjoy the Elite as their current incarnation with what's his face, Kenny Omega at the top, doing the best heel work he's ever done for AEW.
Don Callis as the mic guy, which I'm enjoying whatever Don Callis does. Yeah. And of course, before we talk about the heels, right? So I wanted to say, so they have Elite Hunter, Frank Kazarian, they have Eddie Kingston, and then they have Penta, El Zero, right?
El Zero, yeah.
What happened to Rey Fenix?
I think he was injured.
Was he injured?
Yeah, that's why he's now in this random tandem.
Okay, yeah. So because for a minute they were building up Rey Fenix a lot.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, Penta. I remember Penta actually I thought turned heel.
Yeah.
I remember he turned him very specifically.
Bro, none of their face heel statuses make sense.
Yeah. So now he's a face again. So that was very confusing to me. Like the only person that I felt compelling or enjoyed, I think I'm just Eddie Kingston has been growing on me, I guess. So I like him as this baby face who's like don't give a fuck, I get beaten, I don't care. He has some Roddy Piper vibes, in my opinion. Yeah.
That's a good comparison.
Fun, but it's just a very random pairing.
You like we've talked about it before, they're booking, a lot of it seems to be week by week. So that's why you have good moments, you have shit moments. Oh, can we very quickly, what do you think of Eva Marie returning and then having Piper Niven do her matches.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Because when we were talking about this, it hasn't happened yet last week, right?
Yeah.
On our NXT, I kind of like the big end switch in a weird way. I kind of like it.
Yeah. I mean, why not? But so okay, Eva Marie is back as essentially a valet, lah.
Or she is like a wrestler pretending to be wrestling, but she have someone does her stunt work, lah.
Do you
the
think?
Miss,
Yeah.
Hollywood Miss.
Yeah. Do you think they are like trying to troll the internet wrestling community? Because the internet wrestling community, I believe they are quite high on Piper Niven, right?
Yeah.
And from NXT UK, and of course the commentary crew were like, "Who is this? I've never seen her before." Oh. I'm like, sure not. Especially you, Corey Graves. Don't you watch all the wrestlers? Anyway, that aside, right? Like this is like because the WWE knows that the internet wrestling community hates Eva Marie because she quote unquote don't have the skills.
Yeah.
So it's like this is the ultimate fuck you to the internet wrestling community. Nah, we're gonna give you the person you hate the most and have someone you like represent her.
You know, like I think Eva Marie, when she's re-signed, she knew that she's gonna get shit. She's not gonna get embraced by that. So I like the fact that she's just
leaning into it,
all high and mighty and acts like, it doesn't affect her, because I think that was the plan all along. And if the plan was she was to not wrestle and actually have this monster, legit badass, be her sidekick, be the one doing all the hard work, I mean, it's a great pairing. I'm not opposed to. I'm just worried that like in the long run, like is Piper, are they gonna do some like body shaming angle?
I hope not.
That's my fear.
Okay, I think at the end of the day, right, Piper Niven will turn, and so it has to be a case where really Piper Niven, she wins the hearts of everybody, but Eva keeps taking all the thunder. Like, oh, winner is Eva Marie, even though she didn't fucking wrestle at all, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe.
That seems to be where this is going. As long as this builds Piper Niven, I have no idea what her name is going to be, actually. I read some report that they filed the trademark Dewey.
What?
I don't know.
But is it linked to that?
Yeah, apparently so.
Calling her Dewey?
Yeah, so...
Isn't Dewey a guy's name?
Unisex, I guess.
Okay.
Also, Div Royalty, hi, you welcome to the chat, by the way.
Hello.
If you're joining us on the YouTube live right now, thank you so much for joining us on the Monday, coming off of Hell in a Cell, which we will get to in just a few minutes.
We actually haven't even started reviewing Hell in a Cell because we've been talking about AEW.
Yeah, I mean, that whole like MMA fight, basically we spent like 15 minutes on already. Yeah,
so you guys can like watch it back again after this. But yeah, so like to put a bow on that, I really like Piper Niven. I don't really watch a lot of NXT UK, not a lot of Mae Young Classic, but the way she destroyed Naomi felt very satisfying. I do not know why.
She's just she's a good, worker, and Naomi sold the hell like for her. And then poor Naomi, who's apparently a jobber now.
Naomi, join your tribal chief.
Oh my God.
Acknowledge him.
Yes.
You will become a badass. And if Naomi does that, she will be perfect as a challenger to Bianca Belair. Book it.
Oh my God. The athleticism of that match, right? Yeah, let's go. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on then to this morning. Oh, by the way, drop us a letter grade or a number grade in the chat, okay? Like upon 5, upon 10. What you thought of Hell in a Cell. Let's see if it lines up with what we think. And did you watch the pre-show, by the way? I did not.
I kind of, as I was waking up early in the morning, all groggy, I saw Mandy Rose and Natalia. So my eyes perk up a bit, like, ooh, Mandy Rose. But after that, like, the match as it is lah.
Yeah, it was inconsequential. Nobody really gives a shit, right? Natalia beat Mandy Rose.
But I have to admit, there was some good wrestling shown by Mandy Rose. Like I think the whole storyline from the commentators, what they're trying to say is that they're trying to prove, Mandy Rose trying to prove that she can hang with one of the veterans. And in terms of wrestling wise, Mandy Rose, for someone who was supposedly hired for her pin-up looks, she's been doing a great job.
Okay, well, it's about time. It's been a long time. We forget that she used to be in a tag team with Sonya Deville, and then before that she was, Mandy, and all that, right? So she's been around for a while already.
Yeah, at least a good 3-4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and so far, compared to her days with Sonya Deville, has she improved?
Yeah, legit. She is. she got a bit of the Trish. You know that Trish Stratus aggression when she fights. When she's fighting, pretty dope. So like, even though the match itself was inconsequential, but I was quite impressed by how she performed in the ring.
But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody really bothered. I don't think it was compelling enough, like what Irvin says. Okay, let's move on to the card proper then. Kicking off Hell in a Cell. Bianca Belair versus Bayley.
This match proved two things in my opinion. Bayley is the best wrestler in the division. And when I say wrestler, I say overall wrestler, like in terms of character work, in terms of how she's such a ring general, in terms of, I think she made the match really, really good.
Work rate, and she's a compelling character as well.
Yeah, and this is coming from someone who really loved her as a face and didn't think she would be able to transition, but she has made a great transition. So I think it just proves, I think you are a great wrestler if you can be a great heel and a great face at the same time.
Ha 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 ha! Who would have thought that her annoying laugh would become a thing, and then they copy paste her annoying laugh all over the screen?
I cannot, bro. No, she is just Edna mode from The Incredibles.
She is leaning into this role so well. It works so well, and it made Bianca Belair look so much better when Bianca finally beat her, right? I mean, Bianca, feats of strength, overcoming, being laughed at, all that kind of stuff. It's great, but it's also kind of meh. But if this were anybody else, if it weren't Bayley, if this were, I dare say, if it was Bianca versus Sasha Banks in terms of a story, I don't think it would have been as compelling as Bianca versus Bayley. Bayley made this whole thing work. And another point I'd like to bring up is because this, at the last minute, became a Hell in a Cell, it was kind of obvious to me because the Hell didn't really play a role in this match or much at all. There were a few spots here and there, but if this match didn't take place in a cell, it would have been the same match. Yeah,
I mean, there were some obviously very innovative spots, like the whole tying up the hair and the rope thing.
Yeah, but you see, that wasn't with the cage.
Yeah, it didn't use the cage. So like as I was saying, for a match, for a women's match, it was a great match.
I think for any match, it was a great match.
Yeah,
my issue with this match is that they obviously, to me it looked like they planned this without the cell. And then when they're like, oh shit, we have to do it in the cell, okay, they improvise one or two spots, but it was all about using the hair, which was very innovative. So this match didn't need to take place in a cell, honestly. It did not.
It didn't, and of course, like I said, whatever happened on SmackDown felt such a rush, last minute thing. But I guess that made, like, for me, the last two Hell in a Cell matches featuring women have been great. Like the Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch in 2019, Sasha Banks and Bayley in 2020, all were great Hell in a Cell matches. And I think this continues the trend. Even though it didn't really use much of the cage, but I think it was a great in a Hell in a Cell environment, it was a great match.
See,
so the women have been delivering in that sense.
I'm a bit annoyed at the fact that there were so many weapons used in the two Hell in a Cell matches, right? The cage should be the main thing. And
I agree.
And not like all of a sudden got kendo stick, got chair, got table, got ladder, like god damn.
My problem with this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view overall was that there wasn't any memorable Hell in a Cell cage spot.
Yeah, it was all spots that required other like tables and ladders and bullshit like that, or Bianca Belair's hair, right? But yeah, you're right. Like, I don't know if they're trying to play safe. Okay, nobody fall off the cage anymore. You're not allowed to fall off the cage. I wonder if that's a thing now. Because, you know what I mean? Like, literally nobody fell off the cage. The cage, the roof, like, it could have been a regular cage match and it would have been the same.
I think it would be really cool if, like, okay, they don't want to make people fall off the cage, it's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, do some spots on top of the cage. Do, like, a suplex on top of the cage.
Yeah, and then come back down.
Yeah, little things like that. Actually, I kind of miss them having the cage center part collapsing. I'm sure they can do it in a safe way now.
Trapdoor, like, have it like open up into a crash pad.
Like a trapdoor, or what would be really, really cool? Somebody actually willingly jump off the center of the cage and land in the middle of the ring like a splash spot.
Bro, I just realized something. This is the last Thunderdome pay-per-view.
Yes.
So if there were any time to do a crazy spot that they can edit, this would have been the one.
Right?
And they didn't do it. Like
I'm pretty sure they didn't even think about it.
They could literally have somebody jump off the top of the cage onto a crash pad, cut it, and then have them jump off a lesser. You know what? They could have stitched it together like proper editing.
Yeah.
But they did. And now I'm even more worked up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just giving you a random scenario. Who's the crazy? Okay, Ricochet. Okay, for some reason, Ricochet makes it to the main event, and he has a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like they do a crazy ass spot, and then like his opponent fell through the center of the freaking trapdoor on the top of the cage, right?
Yeah.
Fall on the mat, and then like maybe there was like a table or some shit.
Yeah.
And then he's just laying there, right? The table didn't break, for example. What's stopping Ricochet from doing a 450 from that center trapdoor and falling?
Okay lah, safety, the safety of the wrestlers.
Yes, of course. But what I'm trying to say is like, I think there's more ways to innovate in the Hell in a Cell using the top of the cage, using the side of the cage. That hasn't been done before. Not like you said, not coming out with so many weapons and essentially making it a street fight.
Yeah, within a cage, which kind of defeats the purpose of the cage. The cage is supposed to be the brutal equalizer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that's why this whole Hell in a Cell, and we've talked about it before. That's why you shouldn't theme the whole fucking pay-per-view Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
If this were, I don't know, fucking Backlash or whatever, and you had one Hell in a Cell match, okay, fine, you can put all your eggs into the Hell in a Cell match and have it be crazy. But now you are forced to have two Hell in a Cell matches when it really wasn't that necessary. And I don't think the Bianca Belair Bayley feud warranted a Hell in a Cell, to be honest. Like, remember when Hell in a Cell meant something?
Of course, bro. We grew up in that era, man. Like for me, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast that Armageddon Hell in a Cell, 6 man. Even something as recent as I really enjoyed, obviously, End of an Era.
Yeah.
You know, like I miss all these big spots, man. I miss all these crazy spots.
Yeah, not just that too. Like there used to be a gravitas, like if somebody challenged you to a Hell in a Cell, you're like, whoa. Yeah. Now it's like, okay, let's dance. Like what? No, this is Hell in a Cell, motherfucker. You're supposed to be afraid of this shit.
Yeah. But then again, it ties down with the rest of what's happening in the WWE product. Everything gets watered down. Like now, I don't even blink an eye when it's a ladder match. I don't blink an eye when it's an elimination chamber match.
Like what is a cage match now? Oh, okay lah. It's like a freaking regular match.
Still, the only stipulation for me, right, that I get genuinely excited for is Royal Rumble.
Because it's not so much about brutality as it is about seeing all your favorite stars pull off like funny things, humorous moments, surprise entries. So the gimmick itself, it really works lah. That, and I wish they would make this a yearly thing, Survivor Series, like SmackDown versus Raw versus NXT.
Yeah, I agree. There's some rumblings that King of the Ring might make a return.
Oh my god, please. I love I only love it for nostalgic purposes because King of the Ring, it was always at the end of June, which is when my birthday is. So many times King of the Ring was on my birthday.
Really?
So I always remember King of the Ring.
Oh, that's a great one. That is, for me, I'm October, so most of my birthdays are tied in with Halloween stuff. So a lot of weird Halloween-related things that happen throughout the years, I always remember it.
Div Royalty brings up a point. Like, remember when pay-per-views meant a brutal resolution to a feud?
Yes.
Well, I mean, okay, we are living in a different era now, right? Because of the streaming era versus the pay-per-view. Like pay-per-view, you build the whole feud so that people would pay $30, $40 to buy that pay-per-view to see the end of the feud. Whereas now, a pay-per-view is essentially another show, if you think about it.
How do you appeal to the streaming generation?
Just to have moments, lor. I to be honest, I don't know. You need to have one big moment per show, I feel. Yeah. And maybe they thought the main event would have been that moment, but to be honest, it wasn't it.
For a very social media savvy company, right? I'm quite curious why WWE doesn't know how to make more viral moments.
Okay, if anything, AEW is doing a better job at making viral moments because they are run by a bunch of young punks, the young bucks. You know what I mean? Whereas WWE, yes, they are very social media savvy, but at the end of the day, at the head of the table are a bunch of old fogies, boomers.
It feels like a very corporate approach to social media as opposed to a very DIY, like influencers. You know, like they know how to do it.
Yeah.
In a way they can get traction.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, we go back to the start of their YouTube thing, right? When Zack Ryder did it organically, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this works, let's throw everybody out there to try to do it, and it's not organic anymore, it's very corporate, and then it becomes, it just becomes part of the machinery.
The thing is, us wrestling fans, we can see through bullshit.
Yeah.
We can see whether it's authentic, whether it's like made up.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, do you watch The Bump? To be honest, I've never been able to watch it because it's we know this is a corporate product at the end of the day, so I cannot watch it.
I will watch The Bump only if it's like very big milestones, like they lead up to Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay.
You know, that kind of thing. Like, so it's not much of a specialty, but like I get what you mean because you know that they're trying to make it look like a very cool backstage show, but it's propaganda for WWE.
Yeah, like, I mean, I would rather watch a podcast interview or like Dark Side of the Ring where I know, like, this is us, right? We know that, WWE doesn't have a say, so the juicy bits will come up. You know? But The Bump, it's not like Drew McIntyre is going to go up on The Bump and shit on WWE. No, we know he's a corporate guy. Like, he's a company man.
If Drew McIntyre is on, Kick to the Gut, I think it would probably be a much more enjoyable viewing, bro.
Good luck, bro. Good luck with that. Let me give a shout out to Tovakin who just dropped by the chat. What's up? Pay-per-view now feels more like pay-per-view.
Yeah, you view your paper more interesting, bro.
Did you guys watch Hell in a Cell? Please give us your ranking, all right? Upon 5, what do you give it? We just talked about the Bianca Belair versus Bayley match.
Okay. Actually, we better run through more of the matches.
Okay, is this the end of the feud? Is this the end of this?
I feel like Bayley has gotten all the chances she's supposed to get because she had a match at WrestleMania Backlash.
So, the question is, who's next? Because Bayley is the most compelling female wrestler right now.
Bro, my pitch, bro, on Naomi, she has to be. If that doesn't happen, because I think WWE is too dumb to do that. Sasha Banks returning. I think Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair part 2, but I think they might save that for. They might save that for SummerSlam.
Okay,
seems like it.
Sure. Let's move on then. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. Cesaro has already won 2 matches.
Yep.
So
what was the second match?
I think it was on SmackDown.
Okay, so it wasn't on
okay. I mean, the first one was WrestleMania, right?
Yep.
And then SmackDown, and then now, I mean, was it ever any question that Seth would win this? It couldn't have been Cesaro sweeping Seth, right?
I thought Cesaro would beat Seth because I thought Seth was bulletproof. He didn't need any more victories. I thought this whole exercise of him having a rivalry with Cesaro was to build him up. So now that he lost, I'm confused. Is there going to be a rubber match?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? You think, okay, if Cesaro wins, he finally moves on. But no, this feud apparently needs to carry on. And
Money in the Bank, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually no, they'll probably be in the Money in the Bank match, actually. And can you imagine maybe the pop that Cesaro gets if he wins? That could be the way they catapult him into the main event scene, right?
But but the thing is, he already challenged Roman Reigns.
Cesaro versus Bobby Lashley. New matchup.
Cesaro going to Raw.
For SummerSlam.
That might be interesting. Yeah, that might be interesting.
And Cesaro seems to be the type of goody two-shoes babyface who will call his shot instead of sneakily run out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. That you brought up a very interesting point because I never thought about it that way. But as a match itself, Cesaro and Seth Rollins, I think this was a better wrestled match than WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Really? Okay, I think it was on par. To me, the WrestleMania match is still better, but this is not far off. And I mean, you were talking about 2 very good. Look, there's when it comes to work rate, when it comes to putting it out there, these 2 can deliver. And we've talked about Cesaro till the end of time about how he should have at least one title run or reign. Have him up there. Maybe now's the time.
Mick Foley, interestingly enough, on his Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold, he was given like a round robin round where he was supposed to do a word association with the current wrestlers, and when the Stone Cold mentioned Cesaro, he actually looked Vince in the eye, like in the camera, and said, "Vince, please, I beg you, please push Cesaro."
I
and
saw
he went
the
down
clip.
on his knees.
I saw the clip. Yeah,
you saw the clip, right? Yeah.
I think everyone understands that yes, he has all the tools, and he said, like, Vince didn't see much in me, at the start. You just need to give me a chance to prove himself. And I think Cesaro has been given that chance. And Irvin just brought it up. Like, he's kind of bad on the mic. Like, he's not awful bad. He's just bland. On the mic. Yeah, very bland. You know what I mean? Hey, the Trickster is in the house. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Trickster? We're talking about Hell in a Cell right now,
Yeah,
bro.
don't worry that you came in a little bit later because we just started talking about Hell in a Cell. We were talking about AEW and all that other crap earlier on.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I feel like Cesaro needs. I don't want to say a gimmick because he kind of already has a gimmick, but like maybe he needs to drop the gimmick and be something more authentic, if that makes sense. Or something bigger than what he is. But because, I agree that when I think about Cesaro, he's a Swiss guy. That's it.
Well, okay. They better not make him start yodeling. That's for sure.
It comes up with cheese.
No. but that's the thing. That his appeal is that he's very neutral. Like, I like him to be calm in all situations.
Because he's from Switzerland?
Yeah. Such a stereotype.
Yeah, but you see, being a nice guy is not a draw.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Okay, like if he really had Jason Statham's personality, right, I think he would be a bigger star.
Jason Statham's like he's a what bro?
Do you watch the one Hobbs and Shaw with The Rock and him? The way he just acts off of The Rock, he's this like British guy who's a bit of a bruiser but cocky. Yeah, but he's cool.
Yeah, but he's a good guy at heart, but he has a lot of sarcastic things to say. I don't think Cesaro can pull that off though.
Yeah, because Cesaro just seems like he's the kind of guy you really want to have coffee with and just talk.
Yeah, but he doesn't stand out, unfortunately. He stands out in the ring for sure. But yeah, and then on the other hand, you have Cesaro, who's such a charismatic heel. He swallows Cesaro up completely in terms of the personality, right?
Yeah. You know what made him, I think, right, what was a compelling gimmick for him was something that he actually had when he first started out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why they didn't run with it that long. When he first came out, he was this supposedly like a man of 5 languages.
Oh, yeah.
And he can legitimately speak 5 languages.
Yeah, but that is not a character. That is not a personality. That is just a gimmick. It's like, oh, I'm Japanese. It's like Asuka, I'm Japanese. That's not a gimmick.
Okay, some of the best villains, in my opinion, right, are these very smart, cerebral villains, always one step ahead. And I feel like maybe if there's a way to promote Cesaro, it's like this guy is always one step ahead of the game. A very smart, cerebral.
Yeah, but then you would have to turn him heel, which is even harder, I think, for him. I don't know.
I think he can do it as a face. He can do it as a face.
Okay, you're asking a lot of somebody who unfortunately just doesn't jump out in terms of personality.
Okay, maybe another better example. Do you remember watching Prison Break about back in the day?
Not really, no.
Oh, you're not a fan of Prison Break? Okay. Because the main character is Michael Scofield. He's a guy who's essentially a very quiet person.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But he's just smart. And him being smart was actually the drawing power, like oh, this guy's always one step ahead of like the villains and managed to get out of situations. I don't know. I just feel like he needs to tap and lean into that because he comes across as a very intelligent guy.
Okay. Has anybody else watched Prison Break? What makes Prison Break interesting? Because I actually, funny you brought that up because 2 weeks ago, my brother-in-law like randomly switched on an episode of Prison Break. I watched it and I saw the guy you're talking about, the botak fella, the main guy, right?
Yep.
I found him boring as fuck. So I'm like, how did this show become so popular? Like everyone else was more charismatic than him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, which episode do you watch? Or which season?
I don't know, like one of the later seasons.
Okay. The later season, I cannot comment so much. But the first season, right, him being the quiet, he's literally the definition of don't underestimate that quiet guy in the room at the corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But like he's smaller size too. Cesaro looks physically imposing.
He needs to... The intelligence needs to come with a bit of sinister.
So he's a heel.
No, he can do it as a face, bro. I'm pretty sure he can do it as a face.
I feel like you're asking a lot. What you're describing sounds like it needs a lot of nuance. You have to remember, in a TV show like Prison Break, you can set up scenarios where, they reveal at the end that da-da-da-da-da. In wrestling, you don't have a lot of that set up. You can't have explosions. You can't have sneaky little things. You have to act everything out. And he can't pull it off. I don't think he can pull it off.
Well, that's where he needs to prove everyone wrong. And I feel like that whatever you see or whatever you the criticism that you give him is probably what Vince McMahon would think of Cesaro. Like, but he bland leh. Why do you guys all see in him? You know, kind of thing.
No, he's amazing in the ring.
Yes, amazing in the ring is a given. Yeah. But like you say, and I come from that old school viewer where I want my wrestlers to be larger than life.
Yeah.
I do.
Fuck lah, having come out wearing a Swiss flag, throwing cheese into the crowd. There you go. That might get him more heat.
Bro, like, can you imagine? I just had this weird image of Stone Cold doing that.
or make him like, I don't know, like he's always the neutral guy, right? And make it a comedy thing. Fuck.
Okay, my last pitch for him.
Okay.
I think I want him to be a smiling assassin.
A smiling assassin, okay.
Like he's a killer, right? He can beat your ass in the ring. He can do all this crazy shit in the ring. But then when he comes in, he's just all smiley and like this guy like a bit something wrong with him. Like you know what I mean? Like, like he's a bit of a he's a scary ass motherfucker. He's the one that is always smiling and a good mood is the one that you don't want to piss off, you know? So
Div Royalty mentions that Cesaro she thinks in comparison Cesaro doesn't really have a plan, or his character doesn't seem like he has a plan. He's just a good guy, hoping that hard work and stuff like that will work out in his favor, which is kind of innocent and unrealistic. # jaded.
Welcome to the jaded life, Div Royalty.
It's tough lah. It's tough. Like Irvin just mentioned, Cesaro needs to be the head of his own faction, but that goes back to what I've been talking about in AEW, where you have so many factions, none of them have a charismatic leader. I don't think Cesaro is a charismatic leader.
No, Cesaro is his own man. He needs to be his lone man. Okay, I know we are not any closer to trying to figure out what makes Cesaro like star potential material, right? But I feel like he's better being at the top, because if you're talking about showcasing the best wrestlers in the world, Cesaro is easily on that list right now.
Yeah, but bro, you have a work rate title for that.
The IC title, right?
So
which he hasn't won.
Yeah, is he going to be stuck at IC level his entire career?
Let's see lah. Let's see where this goes. I mean, now it really has to be on the onus is on Cesaro. Yeah. He needs to prove it to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Rollins is literally giving Cesaro his body at this moment. I mean, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but you know what I'm saying, right? Because Cesaro is selling like crazy Seth is selling like crazy for Cesaro. They're trying to put him over. He just needs to, like, very quickly, within the next few months or weeks, find something that really connects with the fans. Because if he doesn't, I think Vince will be like, okay, you know what, we tried, like, sorry, you know, it's time to move on.
My last question, because I feel like Cesaro and Daniel Bryan got a lot of similarities, but what made Daniel Bryan so compelling?
He's a small guy.
I mean, the fact that he's an underdog, that's why he's compelling.
Yeah. That's the whole point of Daniel Bryan, isn't he? He's the underdog. He's the perpetual underdog. And he's charismatic on the mic. The problem with Cesaro, he's not. He's kind of bland. He's not bad on the mic, but he's not great either, you know?
I think maybe he lacks emotion when he talks on the mic as well. Like, you don't see fire when he talks.
Yeah. Maybe because he has a slight accent, he doesn't come across. You know what I mean? Like, you know who else has this problem, I feel?
Who?
We were going to talk about her in a bit. Rhea Ripley.
Oh, really?
Because her accent is a little bit getting in the way of the presentation. But we will get to that next, okay?
Sure.
Can we even put a bow on this? Like, some people have suggested in chat, make him a Paul Heyman guy again. But Paul Heyman is busy being, you know, Roman Reigns' guy.
Well, let's put it in KIV lah for now.
Yeah.
KIV. I mean, you know what would be very interesting?
What?
Put him fucking against Brock Lesnar lah. Fuck.
Yeah, sure.
See him. I want to see him in peril. Maybe that's a problem because he's never been in peril.
Yeah. And this win too, like he technically wasn't really in peril. He lost to a roll up.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. Okay, next. Fuck lah. The next match has one of my favorites versus Shayna Baszler.
Yes. Oh yeah. You're okay. Yeah. So your favorite and my favorite person. Fair enough.
We love her for what, like her goddess stuff was amazing, and now she is Fiend Light. I don't know. She was infected by the Fiend, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And apparently she has inherited hypnosis powers. Like, so okay, I don't know what to say. Like, you know, once in a while you want WWE to have fun, so you got Papa Shango bullshit, fucking Nia Jax slapping Reginald. You knew that was coming, and as it happened, I'm like, do I really want to think too hard into this? Like, if she stares in you, at you, if you lock eyes with her, she can hypnotize you. Is it?
Well, isn't that what Shayna Baszler was complaining? Because she put Alexa Bliss in a hole, and then she was like, "Look at me."
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh no, I can't look at you in the eyes." So, like,
okay,
why? Okay,
how
why
do
is
you
it?
feel about Shayna Baszler being treated the way she is now?
I feel bad, but also, like, you know, people will pay attention to this match, but then she's jobbing out to Weird Eyes. It's like, okay, why does it work for the Fiend? This supernatural gimmick stuff, why does it work for him? But with Alexa Bliss now, it's starting to fall into the hokey realm.
Okay. First of all, let's talk about how this feud and rivalry, in a weird way, has made Shayna Baszler more relevant than her entire tag team title run. That's one positive.
Yeah, fine.
Right, because like before that, like I couldn't give a shit about her entire tag team title run with Nia Jax. But in these 2-3 weeks, like I was actually very impressed by Shayna's acting. I mean, even though she was like, oh my god, it's not real. It's not. But you know, I finally saw some personality out of Shayna Baszler.
Hey, for all you know, she was having a lot of fun. I think she was. You can tell that she really threw herself into the role.
Yeah, and I kind of like that Shayna Baszler is being highlighted, you know, against Alexa. So if the end game is to have Shayna in a more prominent role on Raw, I don't mind her taking this loss.
But how? A blindfold match so she can't get hypnotized? For fuck's sake.
I do not know, but the thing is, when you want to answer the question about why is Alexa not as compelling without the Fiend, was because Alexa Bliss was compelling because of the Fiend. Her association with the Fiend, her being the Harley Quinn to Fiend's Joker, made her compelling. But Harley Quinn on her own, she needed the Birds of Prey.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
Okay,
like she needed an entire new storyline to push her in a different direction, because now she's just playing the Fiend. Like she doesn't have the Fiend to play off of, so she's just channeling the Fiend. But why would I want to watch that when I can actually watch the Fiend be the Fiend?
Yeah, she has a doll.
She has a doll. I mean,
Shayna stomped.
That was not a really good turn. That didn't make things more exciting.
Here's the thing, right? Like Alexa Bliss as the goddess, it was a very relatable, like it is a thing you can understand, right? So now they've gone off the deep end with her. Oh, she has supernatural powers, blah blah blah.
She makes a good looking like horror.
I guess. Well, that's she. I think she would be a good looking whatever.
No, as in,
you know,
no, as in like not in terms of her look. I mean, she's beautiful and all that, but I'm saying like she does legit look like a horror villain character.
Sure,
like before, especially with the makeup and you know that kind of stuff. So I mean, she has the look. I think what sucks is the story.
Yeah, I think so too. She wasn't always like the best in terms of in-ring work.
Yeah.
You know, she's not a bad wrestler, but she's not known to be a work rate person. You know, she was always like a character, and the goddess character I think highlighted her the best. She fit that role perfectly. Now I don't know,
like this
man.
heel villain, I'm better than you kind of goddess, is it?
Yeah, instead of this, I can hypnotize you, I have weird special effects. And even then, like, did they decide, okay, you know what, we want to go cheap on the special? I think, okay, here's the thing, I think maybe I just talked myself into realization why this doesn't work. Because previously with the Fiend, they had weird cuts, they had lights going out, they had fucking tar, they had more special effects. Now they are relying on theater. Now they are relying on
her acting.
And you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it takes you out of the fantasy, and it's like, oh, so now she has hypnosis. It's almost as if they were like, okay, you know what? This shit is too expensive. We're too lazy to set up all this stuff. You figure out a way to give yourself powers.
You hit the nail right on the head. You see, with the Fiend, he was freaking getting burned alive.
Yeah.
And he was fucking, like fucking people in that way.
Yeah.
Imagine you put the Fiend in this scenario where he is just raising his hand and letting someone slap. I mean, it will still look equally as dumb.
Yeah.
So I don't think the issue is Alexa Bliss's performance, because she definitely committed to the performance. I thought her facials were great. I'm pretty sure all kinds of facials she gives will be great. But like, other than that,
what?
But the thing is, it was what the material that she had to work with that sucks.
It's the lack of effects, the lack of spectacle that this character, quite frankly, requires.
I thought when she went off on her own, she was gonna like terrorize the women's division, like one by one, start to target girl after girl.
She terrorizing fucking Reginald.
Fuck Reginald, bro. like, wouldn't it be cool, bro? One by one, she go terrorize Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
She go terrorize Nia Jax, all her ex-friends, you know.
Yeah.
And then she start terrorize. Then suddenly, Nikki Cross, Nia Jax go into the dark side with her.
Oh god.
She built her own birds of prey.
Oh god. Okay. Irvin says, "Come, let's go. Asuka, Japanese exorcist versus Alexa Bliss." Why not? Asuka's not doing anything.
Yeah, fuck. Make Asuka a freaking. I mean, she can pull off this like scary like horror villain, horror character, Japanese horror character. So.
Yeah, no, she can be like the good one, the like a
Sadako.
Oh, not Sadako lah. No, like an exorcist lah. Like what they call it? Like a bomo.
yeah.
Like purge the evil spirits and shit like that. And
priest,
she does all these weird movements anyway. So she could be pretend like ring a bell, ding 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 ding. Oh, I cast you out.
She does all these weird movements. What the fuck?
You know what I'm saying, right? It's not such a stretch to suddenly say, oh, Asuka knows how to cast spells and shit. Sadako is already. Bro, Sadako is already in NXT. Tiensha.
I know, bro. I just thought of something, but it's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Remember the whole racist situation with that Chinese lady with the on the Indian guy?
Oh yeah, the gong. Yeah.
The Indian guy was doing the prayer thing, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Asuka coming out with that gong and just starting to like exercise the ring when every time Alexa Bliss comes, she just does all that.
That could be quite weirdly hilarious.
Yeah.
And Asuka spray the mist. Cleansing mist. I cleanse you of the Fiend,
bro. I think that's the thing, bro. This is what's missing. He's taking himself too seriously. Remember when Undertaker was around and he terrorized people?
Yeah.
There was people like Teddy Long who was acting all scared.
Yeah. Oh!
Yeah. Or do you remember WrestleMania 20 where Eric Bischoff told Jonathan Coachman to go find the Undertaker and interview him?
Yeah.
And then he was like all creeped out the entire night. Like I think they need a bit of levity to like kind of like poke fun at the situation, but then get freaked out when Alexa Bliss character finally appears.
I think you're onto something here. Like you're right when you said this Alexa Bliss character is taking itself too seriously, like her powers and everything. And yes, Shayna Baszler is like, you know, reacting to it, right? But there's nothing funny about it. It's not really scary, but it's also not funny at all. So it's if it managed to make you laugh at the same time, right, I think it would be much more entertaining. Yeah. Okay lah. So that's the plan lah. Make it slightly more hilarious lah.
Yeah, like you know it's hokey shit. You know it's supernatural shit. Might as well, right?
Let's find a way to link the zombies to Alexa, says Irvin. yes. Then you have zombies come out again.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm surprised. Why not? Why didn't they just use Alexa Bliss as a tie-in for Army of the Dead? Fuck it, man. Might as well, right?
My god. Okay, let's move on. This could go
it can
into
go
some really, really weird spots. The match that both of us were like, this should have been in Hell in a Cell, and we know that these two would have delivered an amazing match in Hell in a Cell. But unfortunately, their feud is like a side feud that WWE isn't really that invested in. It's almost like
an afterthought.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is still selling the Nigerian nail.
So apparently, obviously Kevin Owens won at WrestleMania, right? So I thought, after that, like the feud is gonna end, but apparently they continue. The conspiracy is still alive. The documentary is still not out. How many months already?
This seems like we don't know what to do, so let's just continue what we have going on.
Exactly.
Sort of a situation.
And I thought they've already moved on. I thought they are part of the Intercontinental title scene. But funnily enough, the IC title wasn't even defended.
No, remember, Aleister Black was supposed to have been part of all this, but no, he's gone.
Yep.
So yeah,
but someone else returned.
Huh?
Someone else returned.
Who?
We didn't talk about it.
What? Who? What are you talking about?
Samoa Joe.
Oh, but that's NXT, right? And
yes.
A bit of a tangent, I suppose, but I was very excited to see him come out on NXT, being Regal's bodyguard.
Do you like the role that he's being put in?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like they're biding their time before he's cleared.
I feel so. I feel like if he had a non-wrestling role, why not put him in the Stone Cold
Enforcer
GM role from 2003, right?
Yeah.
Can't be touched. Well, I mean, I think it's badass.
Yeah, so he can only hit if somebody hits him. All right, let me let the dog out. Give me a second.
Sure.
In the meantime,
go. Yeah. As I was saying, right, the thing about Samoa Joe's character, I mean, first of all, it's so great to have him back. We heard all the reports on how when Triple H found out that he was fired, he was so furious.
Right. I mean, everyone knows his value, and I think Triple H, being the, I don't know, slightly more sensible one.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Triple H is not part of this firing, who was the one that did the firing? Who was the one that made that decision?
Well, Vince. Oh, actually, maybe not. Scully is that Khan fella. Nick Khan.
Yeah, could be. I mean, it's dumb lah.
Tony Khan and Nick Khan secretly working together to bring down the demise of the WWE. Plot twist.
Oh my god. Okay, but yeah, back to the main thing. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I was surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised by how brutal the match was. But was it me, or was Kevin Owens legitimately injured, or was he really selling very well?
Yeah, it's one of those things, right, where you don't know whether he just did such a good job, because there was the whole shoulder thing. Yep. Even though the neck thing obviously is a work, the thumb, the nail, right? But then after that, there was the whole shoulder issue. And then even after the match, he was like talking verbally to the, you could see him verbalizing to the referee, like, hey, my shoulder, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, oh shit, is he really injured? I have a feeling that he's just that good at his job.
He's reaching Bret Hart levels of selling, bro.
Yeah. I hope that's the case and he's not actually injured lah. But these two delivered a good match. I mean, it's not one of their best matches, but it's a good match. And like, I just, if this were Hell in a Cell,
what was their best match?
Wow, that's a tough one. Probably on the indies. No.
For me, it's
NXT lah, of course lah. Yeah. When that was like the height of their feud, right? Betrayal and everything, because Kevin Owens betrayed Sami Zayn and stuff.
Yep.
This should have been in Hell in a Cell, but like we mentioned, this is not a main feud, so they didn't bother to do that. Because if you just know, if they put them in Hell in a Cell, somebody's flying off the cage.
Sami Zayn has lost a lot of legs since the Logan Paul situation. After that, like, I don't give a shit about his story. Yeah. But him getting the victory, one thing I like about this match was that he suddenly had a lot of age to him. Like, he was a bit more aggressive in this match. So before that, he was playing this cookie, crazy, paranoid character, but now like he got that, like the evil, nasty side to him, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. They could literally, they are one of those groups that fight forever. That's what the crowd will chant, right? So let's move on then. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Like, here's the problem, right? With Rhea Ripley, we all know how she has an amazing look. Physically very striking, very domineering, very imposing.
Very Amazonian.
Yeah. But Charlotte Flair has the same qualities, only Charlotte Flair has a more fleshed out character. Rhea Ripley doesn't, which makes Rhea Ripley look bland.
Didn't they always say that Rhea Ripley was supposedly look too much like Charlotte Flair at the beginning? Yeah,
so they cut her hair, gave her like a hard rocker edge type deal. But even then, like, in this whole thing, I still don't know whether Rhea Ripley is a face or a heel.
No, that's my exact problem with this whole scenario.
Yeah.
This match portrayed both of them as heels.
Yeah. So in a heel versus heel match, why do you care for one or the other?
Yeah. And then, the way the match ended was a bit weird as well, because they ended by disqualification. And then the way she took the ring, the belt away from the referee was very heelish.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, Charlotte Flair said like, "Oh, you're learning, bitch.
Yeah.
You learn from me, bitch." And then she was like, "Yeah, I learned from it. That's what you would do." Like, I mean, like, so is this somewhat one-upsmanship, them having respect for each other now? But I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Yeah. Irvin just says, likes rock/metal is not a personality trait. Exactly. She's another one of those, right? She has the look and everything, but I still don't know who she really is or what she is about. Like, what makes her stand out? Liking rock music, like being Japanese, is not a gimmick or is not a personality trait that we can get behind. It's just,
let's just
what it
agree
is.
that WWE has a lot of problems with very bland characters right now. Like, okay, name me 5 compelling characters. Like, every time they're on screen, you want to see what they do.
Roman Reigns.
The number one, yeah, for sure.
Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso.
Paul Heyman.
All from one feud. Okay, Seth Rollins. Oh shit, that's 5.
Yeah. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's the problem.
I get what you mean 100%. And here's the thing, right? I dare say the same applies to Bobby Lashley, if not for MVP.
I think ever since they lost the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley has been boring.
Yeah, he's been ultra boring. Now they stick him with a bunch of, now cannot say hoes already. Girls. Women of, like, I don't know who they're supposed to be. But yeah, they try to make him baller, but yeah, he doesn't have the personality.
I dare say Karen Cross is more compelling.
Oh, okay, let's not go so far. Fucking no. Like, literally, Karrion Kross, the second he gets into a ring with any other person on the mic, he dies.
Okay, so but that's the thing I'm trying to say. Like, okay, let's make it more fair. Name me 5 people doing different storylines who is compelling.
Bro, this is gonna take a while.
Okay, let's get it out. So to me, Roman Reigns, like you said, Seth Rollins.
Raw.
On
Let's
the
go
Raw
Raw.
side, Matt Riddle.
Oh, hey, RK Bro wasn't on this card.
Yes, RK Bro wasn't on this card. But the thing is, every time RK Bro comes on, like, I'm interested in seeing whatever they're doing.
Sure.
Right? That's one. In a way, okay, this is very interesting. But I'm actually liking the Kofi Kingston and MVP interaction that's been going on Raw recently. It seems like MVP trying to cause some dissension between the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston.
Almost,
do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that Kofi Kingston could be the next contender then?
Maybe. Or they're trying to turn Kofi heel, and we'll see Kofi versus Xavier Woods. And Kofi is the last person you would think who would turn on the New Day, right? Everyone always assume, or maybe one day Big E will turn.
Yeah, or Xavier.
But what about, I mean, you talk about a swerve, this could be it.
I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. Yeah, so like I said, so that's 4. So the one more, somebody from NXT who is still compelling.
I was gonna say Bayley, but okay.
Bayley's not bad.
Yeah. NXT.
Cameron Grimes, baby.
Yes, Cameron Grimes. To the moon.
But that's the thing, like, if we had to think long and hard, you know.
Yeah.
But if you talk about any other era in WWE, right, you can name like literally 5 people and like.
Bro, 5 wouldn't be enough. That would be the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Even back then in that Attitude Era, it's like fucking Kai Choppy or PP is compelling.
Okay, throw me a
Venus.
random year, right, in WWE, maybe in the last 10 years, because 10 years also is considered already starting to go down the toilet, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you at least 5 compelling characters from that era. Just give me a random year. Come.
Random year?
Just a random year. Yeah.
2000s.
Exactly 2000.
Yeah, sure.
Bro, Godfather.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
The whole train.
Yeah, man. Too cool.
Yeah.
The Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Fucking like we're not even talking about main eventers, I'm just trying to scrap the random barrels. Bro, Crash Holly.
True.
Fucking hell, Crash Holly was amazing, man.
Yeah.
And do you remember the entire, okay, this is very random, but do you remember Dean Malenko trying to play the womanizer gimmick?
Yes, I remember. Like,
but that's the perfect example of a very boring, supposedly bland vanilla guy that had a very interesting gimmick that made him somehow entertaining.
Irvin just said Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal.
Don't hinder the Jinder. Okay. In a way, then could you say that AEW is trying to do that by making every one of their wrestlers interesting / compelling, but failing? I don't know.
I think the great thing about AEW is that yes, they are empowering the wrestlers to be involved in their creative process. But at the end of the day, they need someone who is a bit of a okay. My decision is final. Okay, you are the top guy. You are the middle cut guy. You're the lower cut guy. Okay, as long as you can give a better idea, you can show me how your idea works. Then okay, I give you a chance. That kind of thing. Maybe the issue with them is everyone is so nice with each other. Yeah. That like if the idea suck, they're like, oh never mind, let's just try it. See how it works.
They don't have that guy to say, okay, no, this is not going to work. They're like, okay, let's give it a go. See what works, right?
Maybe having the veterans behind the scenes, someone like a Mark Henry, would help with this situation. And maybe that's why they're hiring all these older guys.
Well, no. They just have the money and they want to pull in the big names.
What if Tony Khan is scared to be the bad guy? Then he needs to hire like someone who can play
every
the bad guy.
fucking person in the universe they hire. Let's come back here. So, big conversation about character, about personality. Rhea Ripley is like, what is she? What is she not? Yep. So having her sort of, this is a bullshit finish. This will continue. What if they become a dominating heel tag team?
Two women power trip.
2 woman power trip, yeah. And then it takes returning Becky Lynch to stop them.
Ew, so now that is interesting, right? What if Charlotte acknowledges like, you know what, you're great, I want to mentor you. I'll be part of your entourage. Okay, then they both run roughshod. They win the tag team titles for no reason. And then a returning, Becky, that would be great.
And then awesome. they can have a 3-way for the women's title, or bring in Asuka, Becky, and Asuka. They have a bit of a connection after all. Becky Lynch bequeathed the title or presented the title to Asuka. At least it brings Asuka back into the mix. So you have a 4-way feud.
So so many interesting possibilities. Raw women's division is not short on talent.
No, it's not, bro.
They fucking got Shayna Baszler doing random shit.
Bro, I would like to pitch this to you right now for WrestleMania, bro.
What's up?
Becky Lynch, Asuka, Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley with a McMahon in every corner.
Oh wow, bro, that was so 21 years ago.
Yes, let's go.
Oh my god. Okay. I don't know, man. Okay, Charlotte Flair. Let's just say Charlotte Flair hasn't been that compelling since she returned.
She's been okay. I think she hasn't been compelling because of who she's been given to work with, the storyline she's been given. I think as a worker, she's fantastic. She's doing the best with what she's been given right now. But she's been given sort of this like 6:30 nonsense.
Maybe, right, bro? Because she set out WrestleMania, right? I feel WWE it owes her like a big marquee match. And that's why they're keeping her in the main events. But I dare say, if she were to suddenly win back the title, right? And then she's like the champion going to SummerSlam, Becky Lynch will be the one that comes back.
Can we hold back on that though? Like Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair has been done to death
so many times, right?
So many. Like I would love to see Becky Lynch Rhea Ripley. But Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair is like maybe not.
They never had that, right?
Give it a few more years, So it is what it is.
I think Becky and Charlotte unfortunately went down the Randy Orton John Cena route. They were trying to go for the Stone Cold and Rock route, but I think they overexposed it.
Well, see, the thing is, like, Stone Cold and Rock were really just perfect. You had the 2 hottest characters at the time clashing, right? And
that's true.
Anyway, okay, let's move on then to your main event of the evening. Bobby Lashley with MVP versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell, last chance. So, every time they put like a last chance stipulation, I'm like, okay, I feel like Drew's gonna lose.
Like that's like the end of it, right?
And okay, you know what I feel like they're doing? They are giving Drew that climb from behind story so that he can win the title back in front of a crowd. What he's due.
I agree. But also another thing that I'm thinking of is that WWE is kind of going with what's trending now. Like I think people are more swaying towards Bobby Lashley having a dominant title run. Like they had their moment with Drew, but kind of everyone kind of like, oh, okay, that they had that moment. Like this was the next new thing. So it's more of a reflection on the audience. And I think they're being smart with, like you say, with Drew. Maybe Drew needs to take a step back away from the title scene, freshen it up a bit.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, once he's ready, win back. But I don't think he'll win it back from Bobby Lashley, though.
Well, okay, technically he can't now, right? As long as Bobby is the champ. So, I mean, hey, maybe they will announce the draft and Drew versus Reigns. That's another match that a lot of people want to see.
Yep. Drew McIntyre going to SmackDown could be interesting.
Yeah, Cesaro going to Raw. Challenge Bobby Lashley. That would be an interesting match.
Could be a switch. But I also feel like all these are great, but they might not be SummerSlam worthy.
What would... Oh, right. So the idea that John Cena would come back, or maybe not The Rock for WrestleMania. John Cena?
Brock Lesnar, John Cena.
Lesnar.
Because like you said...
Yeah.
You know, right, that they're going to have it in such a huge arena, 44,000 in a stadium. They need to sell out that shit, and the only way to sell out that shit, I don't think it's gonna be a Cesaro Bobby Lashley match, unfortunately.
I mean,
or even a Drew McIntyre Roman Reigns might not sell out.
I think, bro, I beg to differ. I think any live show will sell out as long as a decent enough show. It will sell out because people are so hungry for live events. So even if it is Bobby versus Drew again, I think it will still sell out. And
also they're gonna get Cardi B there.
Oh yeah, exactly. So
if nothing else, you know, she might bring some new fans over.
John Cena, I don't know. Like as much as I appreciate John Cena and what he's done.
Yep.
I would rather him come back as a special guest, something, and not take you know what I mean?
But I feel like and those of you who've watched the Chris Van Vliet interview that he did with John Cena last week, right? He said something very, very interesting.
Okay.
Chris Van Vliet asked him if you were to come. Okay, so he was talking about how in Fast 9, is this the closest we will ever get to see you as a heel? So he has a very smart question there, right?
Yeah.
And then he said that yes, I know that the WWE fans have been wanting me to turn, and yes, this is a way to show this side of my character. At the end of the day, WWE asked me to play a role in WWE, and I played that character. If they were to ask me to play a heel, I'm not opposed to it. I'm ready for it. And he said the reason why he never turned, and he actually explained, was that the WWE needed him to be the face because at that point in time, there wasn't anyone that could have played his role or could have been the one that's carrying. But now, he said that seeing that Roman Reigns is the number one guy, that frees John Cena up to be able to be more of a nuanced character.
Yeah, but Roman Reigns is a heel.
Yeah, so he says that for Roman Reigns, right, he has fulfilled the potential as the number one industry guy.
Yeah.
Regardless of face or heel. So at that point in time, WWE needed him to be the standard bearer of the company. But now that Roman Reigns has taken over that position, it frees him up as a character that he doesn't need to always have to be the number one standard bearer.
He doesn't have to hold the freaking banner. Like he can do whatever he wants. He can be as creative as possible. I get that.
Yeah. So that's what he's saying, that if WWE were to ask him to come back as a heel, he's not opposed to it.
I think he's always wanted to go heel. It's just that WWE didn't let him go heel because, like you just said, like they needed him as the big merchandise seller, face on the poster, that kind of guy, lah.
Do you want to know a very interesting statistic that I just realized?
Okay.
Right now, John Cena is 43 going on 44.
Yeah.
When Hulk Hogan turned heel in NWO, it was around this age, 43, 44. Can you imagine, bro? John Cena having a new lease of life, having a second run as a heel from this time onwards?
It's not gonna happen, and I'll tell you why. He's doing very well in Hollywood. There's no need for him to do this. Hulk Hogan, like, he did a few movies, but he didn't have a Hollywood career. You know, The Rock is not clamoring to come back. John Cena, I don't think is clamoring to come back because he's doing well as an actor. So I don't see this happening. I think that he's enough of a character. He can come back as face or heel, do whatever he wants. People will still cheer him or boo him. depending on the crowd there. If the crowd is being an asshole, they're like, oh, Cena sucks. You know, he's reached that level of it. To be honest, if he comes back, it'll be a short-term thing and he'll be cheered / booed, but he'll get a reaction. It doesn't matter.
So
that's why I don't want him to come back, honestly, in any sort of a feud.
Do you see him coming back as a heel at least once before he retires? Or having a heel turn?
No, I do not. I actually do not.
Okay.
I don't see another run in John Cena, honestly. Like if you're talking about like an Edge type long run, right?
Yep.
No, like John Cena, he might show up for 2 weeks before that on Raw or SmackDown, and then show up at the event itself, do something funny, and then fuck off. I feel like that is his role now.
Wow. Okay, so we really have moved on from John Cena.
I think so.
Okay, that's cool. But I like he said in the interview, he's not opposed to it. So I think that is kind of promising as well, in my opinion.
See, even Chelsea is disagreeing with turning.
Bro, 2-man power trip. Roman Reigns and John Cena. Bro.
Oh my god. No, the WWE needs to sell that merch, bro. WWEshop.com, they need to sell the neon green, the neon pink, the neon orange bullshit. Anyway,
the head of all tables.
Yes. Obviously the money match is Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Hopefully they get that for WrestleMania. So anyway, this match, let's get back to this match. It was exactly how I thought it would be. It was brutal. The two horses just beat the fuck out of each other.
Yes, it's a horse fight.
To me, it was the best match, but it wasn't a great Hell in a Cell match. Like, it's very weird. This stipulation doesn't mean anything anymore. This Hell in a Cell, like, they could have done this as a street fight. You know, like, okay, there was the whole shenanigans of unlocking the door, and then MVP comes in, and then they lock the door back in. It's like, so okay, then the cage was for what then? You know, like, I get it from a storyline perspective, and this was also the second roll-up win of the night, which made it a bit like, didn't we see this already?
Yeah, so the ending was a bit of a party pooper, in my opinion.
Yep.
Some people argued that it was actually a brilliant move because like it's such a heel thing. Like, you can't beat this guy. Okay, what's the next best thing? Do a fuck you and do a roll up, right?
Yeah.
I can see both points of view, but for me personally, I didn't enjoy it because the match needed a definitive ending. Like, for Bobby Lashley to move on, because now we feel bad for Drew McIntyre, and now we feel like, oh shit, he screwed out the title, he needs to fight for it again. And that's the problem. I don't like that.
Right.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, the match had a great overall story to the match, but the ending was
bullshit. Yeah, no, it wasn't bullshit. It was a very deflated sort of non-committal ending. Like, I get it though. Like, and I actually appreciate this whole side of Bobby, where if anybody else challenges him, a lesser man, he would just dominate and destroy, right? But if he gets someone who is his equal, like a Drew, then that's where MVP comes into play. That's where the shenanigans and the cheating comes into play. I appreciate this as a character. Him doing backstage stuff, boring. MVP is the only thing that makes him work as a champion right now.
I'm fine that he had to rely on MVP to carry like the promo work. He can just sit at the back, wear his shades, look cool, be like the kingpin, and then MVP carries it. But my problem,
he should really talk less lah. To be honest, when he does talk, it's like a bit oof.
but you know what? If you want to compare like between him and Roman, and that's why Roman segments are so good. Because Roman can deliver in the ring, he can deliver backstage. Everything he does is compelling. Bobby Lashley is dominating, but is he a compelling match to watch? I would say no.
No.
I would say no.
Yeah. This was this was the best match of the night. In a night of kind of this could have been called frigging Armageddon or Payback or some bullshit, you know? The Hell in a Cell didn't really it didn't come into play, which is what to me is very sad.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Especially I was a big Hell in a Cell fan of the past. I wish they paid more homage to the past. They literally had a Hell in a Cell legend on Broken Skull sessions.
Yeah, because of
You
hey,
get
look,
what I mean?
Look, you got these two horses. Have them like slam each other through the cage. How about that?
I thought they would go have a cell segment, like a cell spot where the panel collapse or something like that, right?
Yeah. Or fucking this has never been done. Have them smash through the cage, the whole cage collapse.
Holy shit.
Like, like what the fuck? And then throw the whole match out. I don't know about that.
But you know what? That would be much better ending than the Fiend getting disqualified.
In Hell in a Cell, yeah. Yo, they've come out with some bullshit. Yeah. So I don't know if we've become conditioned to be too bloodthirsty. And if anything, AEW is making that even worse, right? Because AEW is like doing crazy shit now with their cages and their stipulation stuff like that. Whereas WWE is going the super bland, safe route of, oh, okay, you got a cage, but in the cage we got tables and chairs and kendo sticks, and nobody falls off the cage.
I think it's kind of homogenized entertainment lah. They try to entertain to the masses, I guess.
Okay, hold on. Do you think that because they're like, we're going to go live on the road soon, let's hold back from the stunts. Let's not do this in front of screens.
Oh yeah, I mean exactly, bro. Like, isn't it the case? Isn't it very clear that they are on a holding pattern until the fans return? I feel like most of the matches are like that.
Do Hell in a Cell next month.
But the next month, the first pay-per-view back with fans is Money in the Bank, which is also a great pay-per-view.
I mean, the thing with their pay-per-views is now they anyhow shuffle one. So they could have called this Payback. They could have called this fucking, I don't know what other names they still have.
Capital Punishment. Fucking random as fuck.
Outside your house or whatever the fuck, like, you know?
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. No, but I think they trying to make it interesting, but they also trying to keep it as a holding pattern. They don't want to get their wrestlers injured unnecessarily
before they go on the road.
Stunts. Yeah, but if it was me, right, bro, you know what I would have done if this was a holding pattern situation?
What?
They should have done a whodunit angle, bro. A whodunit angle that lasts throughout the entire summer and culminates in a reveal when the fans return.
Okay, yeah.
Like the NXT when who got run over? I forgot who's the guy. Aleister Black.
Aleister Black, yeah. I did it for The Rock.
Yeah, sure, bro. 2021 version. Let's do it.
Everybody's favorite reveal. The SmackDown hacker.
That ship has sailed. Where has Mustafa Ali, Tiba, and Mace been?
Jobbing around on Raw. Mustafa has been showing up randomly talking to Mansoor.
Apparently Mustafa Ali and Ricochet has been having a great series of matches on main event.
Wow, the show we don't watch.
I feel so bad for all of them. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, bro, they have so much talent.
Yep.
They just need the creative sucks. At this point, the creative is just brain dead right now.
Yeah. Hopefully as we said this last week, we'll say it again. Hopefully as we get closer to the summer, all this stuff pans out. So now you have Drew in a situation where he cannot challenge, right? So let's give a shout out to Drew and his acting, because at the end of the match, like that you could see by the look on his face, there was that realization, oh shit, this was my last chance. I'm done. Right? And like it added like a little extra wrinkle to his character. So is he going to be like super dejected in the next couple of weeks, or is he going to come back? Is he going to disappear? Is he going to come back even stronger than before? Is he going to come back and try to screw Bobby Lashley out of the title? So
I like it. Actually, you know what? Him losing makes things interesting for Drew McIntyre, because right now we as fans have no idea what's gonna happen, because he can't say I want to go challenge for a rematch.
Yeah. Or maybe he can. He's like, fuck it. One more stipulation, okay? You know what this reminds me of? Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. So now you've taken away the title shot from me, right? Give me one more shot. I put my career on the line. So now you've escalated it. Now you can have a career versus title match.
But I don't think Drew wants to throw away his career again. He has to go back to the Indies a second time.
No, I mean, but then he can win. He can take the title off of Bobby Lashley and have that moment in front of fans, which I feel like the WWE still want to give to him.
I believe he does want to give them that, but I don't think it will be from Bobby Lashley.
No, okay.
I feel like he might get it from somewhere else
again, bro.
I do not know. Or he could win the US title in front of fans. Him versus Sheamus.
Okay,
Woo!
okay. I think we can both agree that a swap of brands would be great for them. Drew go and challenge Roman Reigns. Fresh feud. Cesaro comes over, challenges Bobby Lashley. Fresh feud.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Take yourself back to 2003, where Chris Benoit had a last chance WWE title match against Brock Lesnar.
Right.
And Paul Heyman said, if you lose, you will never be able to challenge for the title. And he had an amazing match on SmackDown. He lost.
Yep.
Next week, it was the Royal Rumble. He won. And after that, the next day, he appeared on Raw.
Raw to challenge Triple H, right?
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. That was an amazing storyline. I remember that.
So this could very well happen. Like we said, maybe he wins the Money in the Bank.
Drew McIntyre winning Money in the Bank would be great because he has never won that.
Yeah, and that's another way he can go and challenge for the other title.
Yes. Or can he technically overrule him being banned from the WWE title by winning the Money in the Bank?
Who the fuck knows? They could just do some random clause. Now that he has won Money in the Bank, he has the contract, it overwrites this, then got to bring in lawyers, then 2-3 weeks got lawyer drama. Why not? Why the fuck not?
God. Okay, you know what? Let's just wait until the fans return. They say it's 4 more weeks.
Yeah, 4 more weeks till Money in the Bank.
So I think we will be there. We will be there to review. Not we will be there
I would love to be there live, but no, we can't fly.
But in the meantime, I guess if WWE is in a holding pattern, that gives us an excuse to review or talk about other things. So that's great.
Hey, if you guys have any suggestions for a watch along, let us know in the chat, or if you're listening to this on the podcast after the fact, you can always slide into our DMs, right? Because next week we want to do a watch along. Next week also happens to be my birthday.
Woo,
next Monday.
Mr. Young's birthday.
Oh my god.
Guys, please send some love.
Oh, thank you. No need, just send ang pao. No, I'm kidding.
I don't think you need any more ang pao than you already have, Mr. Young.
What? I could always use with more. Do with more. So okay, like I was discussing this with Foreign, right? Like, watch the very first Raw. Ooh. I remember the very, like, I was like Macho Man on commentary.
Bobby Heenan trying to get into the show.
Building. Like, I feel like we've watched it enough times. I don't know. Like, thank you, Tovakin, who says happy birthday in advance. I would genuinely, what about the first King of the Ring tournament? Because King of the Ring was always a end June pay-per-view.
Yes, we discussed, right? We wanted to watch like a King of the Ring event.
No, but the event would be quite long, right? Like 2 hours long.
Yeah, so the tournament itself, we had to, do we watch the final match of the tournament?
I don't know, maybe with the semi-finals onwards?
Okay. What would be a great... Okay, you know what? Since it's going to be your birthday and we want to have a birthday theme, so it must be a subject that you must really like.
Oh God.
Let's have a King of the Ring where it was the one that Bret Hart won. King of the Ring.
Oh.
How's that? Have you watched that?
That was the first one, right? Bret Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow.
Then is it 93 or something?
93.
How about that? Let's watch that that event. I mean, I don't know how you want to watch it. Like I don't know whether... I mean, we can watch just the final match itself.
Yeah.
And talk about King of the Ring memories.
Okay, let me just very quickly take a look at the brackets, okay?
Yeah.
Bret Hart versus Abai.
Who the fuck is Abai?
As in, he got a bye lah.
Oh, he got a bye. Okay, got it.
Versus bye. The bye.
Who is the bye?
Razor Ramon versus Tito Santana. Mr. Perfect versus Doink the Clown.
Damn, bro, doesn't sound very appealing.
bro. Kamala versus Mr. Hughes.
Oh, wow.
My Curtis Hughes. Oh! Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Papa Shango.
Okay.
Bam Bam Bigelow versus Typhoon. Okay, these are all the TV matches, by the way.
Okay, sure.
Bob Backlund versus Lex Luger, Tatanka, yay! Versus Giant Gonzalez. Wow.
This one is all very new generations, yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, the quarterfinals look very interesting, though.
What?
Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon. Mr. Perfect versus Mr. Hughes. Okay, maybe not that one.
Who's Mr. Hughes? I can't remember him that well.
He's like this... I don't remember him being a very good wrestler. He was a big brawler guy who... Yeah, I don't remember much about him.
Sure.
Watch Ms. and Mrs. says Div Royalty. What the King of the Ring night. Oh my god, Hulk Hogan is on the poster. He was probably like in the main event.
But then the finals was like you said, Bret Hart against Bam Bam, right?
Yeah, Bret Hart versus Bam
So
Bam.
what was Hulk Hogan doing?
I can't remember. Like I said, probably the main event. Let me just very quickly take a look here.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan versus Hey, fucker, not even on the card lah. Oh,
He just showed his face?
No. Yokozuna versus Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about we watch from the King of the Ring itself, the finals, and then the main event?
Bro, the main event was Bret Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, so you're saying Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan was in like semi-main or some shit?
No, this is very weird. Okay, I don't know. I'm looking at the Wikipedia. I don't know if this is in order, but it looks like Yoko versus Hulk Hogan was not even in the second last match. It was like the fourth last match.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, got the Steiner Brothers and the Smoking Guns versus Money Inc. and the Head Shrinkers. What the hell?
Bro, this is like not my era at all.
And then got Shawn Michaels with Diesel versus Crush.
Crush used to be quite a well-pushed wrestler, right?
Yeah.
They try to push him quite well.
And then Bret Hart. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. You know what? Next week, let's have King of the Ring memories.
Okay.
So we talk about who's our favorite King of the Ring, which King of the Ring events was very memorable, which was the one that sucked. Who actually catapulted their careers into like, superstardom with their King of the Ring victories.
There is only one, right?
I mean, there are a couple. A lot of people forget about one thing.
What?
Brock Lesnar was a King of the Ring champion.
That's right. Oh, that was the one where Stone Cold took his ball and went home because he didn't want to lose in a qualifying round on free TV.
Yep. So the thing is, I think King of the Ring is definitely a pay-per-view or a topic worth discussing. I think can definitely last an entire episode. But we can do and watch along for one of the match for sure.
Yeah, I'm just sad that the King of the Ring has since become like a TV thing. They used to be its own pay-per-view, right? And then they slowly made it into like a TV thing, and like now it's a battle for the crown on SmackDown. Not even a real tournament anymore.
Yeah, obviously we talk about how Shinsuke and Corbin had that stupid battle for the crown thing. Yeah. But from the reports that I've read, right, it might parlay into a King of the Ring tournament.
I hope so. So we got a July tournament?
Yeah, so the idea is, right, that the winner actually gets to face Shinsuke Nakamura as the defending crown keeper of the crown. But the winner of that match will actually get a title shot.
Wait, what? That sounds so ridiculous. It's not even funny.
So the King of the Ring winner is actually a number one contender for the King's crown, but the winner of that match will be the one that leads to be able to challenge for the title. It's convoluted lah.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's okay. I get that the King of the Ring tournament winner getting a title shot. That makes sense to me because you win a grueling tournament, right? Yep. But you have to face either Shinsuke or Baron Corbin first. Like, why are they the gatekeepers? Like, that sounds like such bullshit.
First of all, it's only Shinsuke because Shinsuke has won the unofficial battle of the crown.
So why does Shinsuke become the gatekeeper?
Because he wears a crown now.
Oh, fuck off. No.
There can only be one king in the WWE.
Oh, the chat is already popping off with kings. Like King Booker, Stone Cold, Owen Hart, like best kings. So save it for next week, guys. Save it for next week, okay?
Save it for next week and also for Mr. Young's birthday wishes.
Yes, I will be the King of the Ring next Monday.
Nice. Okay, wait. Before we leave, so a few more programming notes. So next week we'll talk about King of the Ring, but the week after that, we will have a deep dive into the ruthless aggression era.
Ooh.
We want to have a discussion about that because we have a special guest that we want to bring you on the show. It's been a while since we brought a guest on the show, right?
Yep.
And this will be a guest that you guys might not expect. It's a kind of a random selection of a guest.
Okay.
Yeah, but put it this way lah. It's nice to finally have not just testosterone on the show lah.
A dose of estrogen. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's you know, if you get bored of seeing our faces, I think it would be nice to have a pleasant female face.
What are you
on
trying
the
to
show.
say? I have a very pleasant face. Okay, female face. I gotcha. So
Are you calling yourself a feminine face, Mr.
no,
Young?
no. I'm just saying pleasant face. Stick to our social media accounts. We'll let you in on all the details as we get closer to the day. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for hanging out here today. It's been a lot of fun. What?
Oh no, we forgot to talk about one more thing.
What's that?
Bro, we never even talked about this China documentary on Vice.
Oh, it's okay. I haven't watched it yet, so let's save it.
Okay, we'll save it. But guys, those who have watched it, you know it's crazy and amazing. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay. Just very quickly, You watched it, right?
Yes, I did.
I feel like there have been a lot of documentaries about China already. So is there anything new?
Was there a lot of documentaries on China? Okay, WWE never produced a documentary on China.
Not
or DVD
WWE,
on China.
but like there have been podcasts, there have been articles, there have been, I think, documentaries as well. So when, people were hyping this documentary about China, I'm like, but hasn't this been done before? I kind of know her story already. It's kind of it's like that North Korea deal all over again.
The problem, I don't think it is a problem. Okay, the thing about how this particular documentary was framed, right, was that this documentary is actually about a documentary that was being made about China at the time of her death.
Okay.
So, you know the story about China. She was living in Japan for a couple of years in exile, right?
Yeah.
So, in 2015, this group of documentarians wanted China to come back to so-called film her comeback onto the wrestling scene, right? But turns out that these guys that were filming her are all fucked up and was super exploitative and is basically trying to piggyback on her life and her struggles to make money. Yeah. So her manager is one of these guys that was involved and guilty and fucked up. And so apparently the director of this documentary was also doing drugs with China.
Oh God.
Basically, she was a very fragile person and she wants to get back into the good books, right, of WWE. But she's being surrounded by very, very bad people giving her terrible advice. Right. Do you remember the story of her turning up at WWE headquarters trying to get a meeting with Triple H? All that bullshit, right? Yeah. She actually approached Triple H at Roddy Piper's funeral to ask for a meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
All those things were the idea of the manager and the documentarian. So they were trying to push her and put her in all these compromising, crazy ass positions to basically like drive her crazy, to basically
make
to be able to film her downward spiral.
Yeah.
So that was like a terrible part of this whole story that was being exposed. And actually, right, on the day of her death, they actually filmed footage of her. The documentarian, the filmmaker and the manager actually went to the house and found her dead body. And they actually filmed them going into the house and actually discovering the dead body.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
and all this stuff is in the documentary?
The documentary showed footage of them going in all up until right before and they cut off at the body. I mean, if they were to show that, I think that's terrible.
Yeah.
But the point is, that was spliced with interviews and of course talk about her life. And there was tell you some interesting things about that that they showed, which I don't think that was shown before. A lot of indie footage of China wrestling.
Okay.
Before WWF, when she was training with Killer Kowalski.
Right.
A lot of footage of her post WWE fighting in New Japan, which I think I posted a bit on our IG. Very, very interesting. They managed to interview her sister, who was at her Hall of Fame induction when DX got inducted, Katie. So they interviewed China's first boyfriend, not Triple H, before Triple H. Want to hear one crazy, ironic story?
Sure. If you can do it really quickly.
Sure. You talk about how China was so heartbroken that Triple H left him, right? Yeah. China actually left her first boyfriend for Triple H.
Oh, shit.
Talk about karma, bro. So, bro, there's some gnarly details about this. And I think it's a very, very good documentary. It's, the way it's framed is very different from Dark Side of the Ring. But it's still very, very terrible to watch.
It's a Vice documentary, right?
Yeah, it's a Vice documentary.
So, guys, go check it out. I'm going to go check it out after this. After the amazing sell job you just did, bro.
Of course, bro. watch it, bro. And of course, don't forget to watch Mick Foley's Broken Skulls. Infinitely much better than Hell in a Cell, I'm pretty sure.
Those two things we just talked about, probably, a lot better than Hell in a Cell was. So, as always, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out in the chat. We will catch you again soon next week. As always, thank you so much for listening to the live stream. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, whatnot, thank you as well. Hey, do us a favor, hit that like if you haven't already, hit subscribe as well, and follow us on our social media pages. Kick to the Gut on YouTube, on Instagram, on the Facebook.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So there you have it. Thank you once again. It is Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. See you next week.